Hey guys, so literally I've never felt more accomplished in my entire life. I started The Book Thief like 3 days ago. So it took me 3 days to read this, and it is like a really thick book for me. Like I'm used to reading like really tiny books, so it was like 550 pages. And I read like 200 today because I literally couldn't put it down. It is so good. But I'm only going to say that once because I say that so many times. So, very good. Alright. I'll read you the back. By her brother's graveside, Liesel. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I think it's Liesel. I don't really know Liesel. Her life is changed when she picks up a single object, partially hidden in the snow. It is the Gravedigger's Handbook. Gravedigger's Handbook. Left there by accident and is her first act of book thievery. So begins a love affair with books and words as Liesel, with the help of her accordion-playing foster father, learns to read. Soon she is stealing books from Nazi book burnings, the mayor's wife's library, wherever there are good books to be found. But these are dangerous times. When Liesel's foster family hides a Jew in their basement, Liesel's world is both opened up and closed down. In superbly crafted writing that burns with intensity, award-winning author has given us one of the most enduring stories of our time. So, this is such a cool book because the narrator, it never actually says who the narrator is, but it's death, basically. And it took me forever to figure that out. So, that's a really important thing that you need to know, and I wish I would have known that earlier on because it was really confusing at the beginning. So, it opens up with the narrator talking about this girl, Liesel, and she is in this train with like her real mom and her little brother, and her little brother had just died. And so then her mom brings Liesel to this foster family with Hans, who's the dad, and Rosa, who is the mom. And so Rosa is like really strict and mean, and Hans is like so sweet and he plays the accordion like it said, and you love the dad. And so Liesel comes and she's pretty poor. They're a pretty poor family. They're German, obviously, and they just live in Germany and they're poor, but they're somehow surviving. And so Liesel goes to school and stuff, and she plays soccer like on her street. And she lives on Himmel Street, which is like one of the poorest. And so her neighbor, the love interest, is Rudy. And you love him too. He's like in love with Liesel, and it's so cute. She's about 9 or 10, I think, at the start of the book. And then at the end of the book, she's 14. So, most of the book, she just starts like learning how to read, and then she just like, with the help of Rudy, finds different books and like steals them, and she loves to read. So then it takes a turn away from like a really nice life to where they take in this Jew named Max. And Max is somehow tied to Hans. You'll figure that out in the book. And so they take care of Hans for like, I think it was like 22 months. It was forever, and all he did was just stay in the basement. So Liesel and Max have this relationship, and they're kind of like big brother and sister, and she reads to him and he draws and stuff in the basement. And then one day Max leaves, and he's Jewish, obviously, so you're like, alright, he's gonna die. So you never really know that until the end. I'll get there later. And so the whole family kind of becomes pretty sad, and then Hans goes off to fight, and then he gets in an accident where like his leg falls off or something. I don't really know. And so he has to come back home. So he comes back home, and you're really happy because they're all reunited. You're like, okay, this book is gonna end so well. And then, so it said on like, I think it was the 98th day of his return, the book takes a very, very sad turn. And these are so many spoiler alerts. So basically everyone dies. there is a bomb that goes off in the middle of the night, and it wasn't supposed to land on that town, on that street, but like, I don't know, it was misplaced, and so it got let out early or something, and so they had, like, the town had practiced with sirens and stuff to prepare for bombings, but it was the middle of the night, and, like, they had no idea, so they're all just, like, sleeping in their houses. So Rudy dies, which is so sad. And then Rosa and Hans die. And Hans is so sad. Oh, it breaks my heart, and I started crying. And then just like was that all? I don't know. A lot of other random, less important characters died too that you'll learn about. And the only one that survived was Liesel. That's basically where the book ends. And what's his name? Rudy had always like wanted to kiss Liesel, and she was like, "No, get away from me." And then after the bomb goes off, he's like dead on the road, and she goes over and kisses him, and that was cute. Overall, highly recommended. I'm so glad I read this book because I've been looking at it for a long time, but it was so like intimidating, and I really didn't want to read it honestly. But I'm so glad I did because it literally took me no time at all to read, and the way that Marcus writes is so cool. I love the whole narrator is death kind of thing. I think that's so unique and so cool. And then he also uses so many like metaphors that are so cool. It's definitely like one of my classics now. I really, really like it. And yeah, so if you're looking for a good book, I mean, it's not too gory. Most Holocaust books are pretty gory because they follow survivors going into Auschwitz or something, and it gets really gory in there. But this one's not. It's just about this girl, this German girl's life, stealing books, and then the bomb goes off, and that's like the main point of the book. So yeah, it is kind of confusing at the beginning with her brother in a train, and I never really got that, to be honest. But throughout the whole book, she references that, so you need to know that, like, the brother dies. But it's really sad. But then you figure out that she gets married and has kids and grandkids, and she lives in Australia. And then towards the end, the narrator's like, and then I came to her when she was an old lady, and you're like, oh, you're death. Gotcha. So I think it's such a good book, and I really like how the chapters are short. That may not seem like a big deal, but with this thick of a book, the fact that it has like tiny chapters, I love that. And it has like some drawings too, and you just seriously can't put it down. Like, my family kept wanting me to do things today, and I was like, no, I'm trying to finish this book. Couldn't put it down. So yeah, please get it. You won't regret it. And I'm so happy I finished it, and I'm going to be reading a lot this summer, so expect mini reviews up. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys!